All right, folks, we are back live taking your phone calls in response to last week's election, the 44th president, Barack Obama. Yeah, let me just say this. What I hate about it is that I'd love to be able to support America's first, president who's got African blood in him, because that'd be wonderful. The problem is I don't support any of these presidents since Kennedy, and they blew his head off because he didn't play ball. And we had bad presidents before that. Woodrow Wilson started speaking out and saying, look, I got conned by some private banks. I didn't know this was a takeover. Suddenly they poison him. He goes into a coma. Then he comes out of the coma and writes letters publicly exposing it again, saying he thought he was poisoned. I mean, that's mainline information, folks. The average people, though, aren't aware even who Woodrow Wilson was. He was our president back in 1913 when we got the private Federal Reserve, when we got the income tax. And you can read all the documents of the bankers, books they wrote, things they say. They're doing it now, and it's so painful because it is positive that people are getting along better. That a lot of people, I've talked to a lot of black folks that I know, are saying, yeah, man, I understand that Barack Obama is owned by the very same people and, quote, owned by the man, but, at least it says that a whole bunch of white folks voted for a black guy. And so there is that good news. But let me tell you something. Here's the bad news. When they are done with Barack Obama, they're going to blame everything on him, just like George Bush. It's birdcage liner. They come in with a honeymoon. They get a bunch done. The New World Order bird soils everything, and then the birdcage liner gets blamed. They pull that out and stick a new one in. Let me tell you, for folks watching here locally in Austin on television on Channel 10, you see this right here? Barack Obama, that's just birdcage liner. They're just going to place him up in there. And the bird, that's the New World Order, is going to do his business. Why don't we talk about the bird, the creature that's doing this? Going back to our caller in Ohio, I don't want to butcher his name again, so I'll just let him state his name when he comes back on. You had one more quote, sir, and you were talking about growing up, the images of the bling, the image of the culture, the corporations pick out to try to stereotype black males especially. I mean, I'm putting words in your mouth, but you were about to get to that, versus what reality is and how you didn't listen to the propaganda, and then you were going to continue. Go ahead.
Exactly, Alex. I was really fortunate, growing up in Newark, New Jersey. I grew up in the East, and my teachers that we had all the way through were exceptional, and they really made sure we all were educated. Even the dumbest guy in my class would be an A student today. And they cared about education, and that was really out of the Eisenhower mold. Eisenhower was such a key in all the things that happened for all of us going through the 60s. And just within my family, though, I've just been an oddity because I just never understood why other people, my own family, saw things so differently to me, because I really did believe the things that we were taught about being a United States citizen all the way through. And I never thought I'd live to see the day that Russia would be telling my government not to start a war, meaning the Iraq War, and they were absolutely right. So I just really ask everyone out there, regardless of what your group is, to really understand the history of this great nation that we have and fully understand things before we speak. And we need to get out there and challenge this government. Another point I wanted to make is that I've asked many people, black and white, if they knew who Crispus Attucks was. And most people don't even know. I said, so you're happy about having a black president, and you don't even know the history of the revolution and who Crispus Attucks was. I said, because you know what? You may be looking at another Crispus Attucks looking at me right now.
Why don't you tell folks who it is?
Crispus Attucks was the first person, he was African, who died in the Revolutionary War.
Yeah.
And people forget that there was a struggle here from day one against international bankers. And the one quote I want to leave with real quickly is from Otto von Bismarck, and I got this out of The Creature from Jekyll Island. And he was quoted after Lincoln had been assassinated regarding the impact that this was going to have on the world. The death of Lincoln was a disaster for Christendom. There was no man in the United States great enough to wear his boots. I fear that foreign bankers, with their craftiness and tortuous tricks, will entirely control the exuberant riches of America and use it systematically to corrupt modern civilization. They will not hesitate to plunge the whole of Christendom into wars and chaos in order that the earth should become their inheritance.
Beautiful.
This is exactly what has happened.
No, I mean, exactly. And back then, people even knew who the enemy was and we couldn't beat them. Now the public doesn't even know and laughs at bankers while they're openly setting up world government run by them, and we're going to have to buy carbon taxes from them. I appreciate your call, sir.
Thanks a lot, Alex. Peace to the world.
You bet. Yeah, that guy's a great speaker. He needs a radio show. He does. I love that tone of voice and the way he was speaking. I just like it. Look at this. Look at this right here. This is out of Newsweek, and it's a cartoon. We'll show a close-up of this. Trey, I'll give this to you for the TV show so we can put it on. And it says the Constitution, Bill of Rights. It's a piece of paper, and Barack Obama is piecing it together with tape and fixing it after Bush Cheney. Folks, Barack Obama, out of the gates, is saying, Patriot Act, warrantless spying, more wars, letting the bankers take over. Man, I just can't handle it anymore. I mean, we've got this translucent green skin George Bush who just radiates deception and lies. Notice how they set that up. They're masters of 8 years of this, and then they give us this. Hollywood. Just exudes confidence and smarts and slick, good looking. It's over, folks. We're screwed. It's over. Because the public has just somehow been trained that old white guys, which really do run things, are the evil. So they look at some old white guy down the street and think he's the evil one. No, he's not the evil one. He's watching, Dancing with the Stars just like you. But now that they've done this, man, this guy is going to carry the ball far. The New World Order's got its Vince Young, and he's going to carry the ball for him, ladies and gentlemen. At your detriment. You'll be cheering your destruction all the way to the... Folks are going to wake up, though. I mean, let me tell you, they're going to destroy him in the end, though. They got to do that to then give you the new savior. Remember George Bush was a savior? Remember 7.5 years ago? He was the savior from Bill Clinton. Because Bill Clinton did stuff that was unpopular. Just like George Bush did stuff that was unpopular. And what's Obama saying every day in the papers now? I'm going to do stuff you're not going to like. See, he's getting you ready for it. I'm going to do stuff you're not going to like. I'm going to have to do what you don't want me to do because he works for somebody else than us. Chris in Florida, you're on the air. Welcome to the airwaves.
Well, who did the infamous Marcus Wolf train at Homeland Security between 2002 and 2006 when he became deceased?
Marcus Wolf, the former head of the East German Stasi, trained a lot of people in Homeland Security, including Comrade Chertoff.
Oh, I never knew that. Wow. Well, in this service economy, the new make work is drafting the youth into a vast PI agency centralized in the government.
And that's not us. Let's play Barack Obama saying it. And then you read the fine print. Youth Brigade spying on Americans.
We cannot...
Go ahead and roll it.
We cannot continue to rely only on our military in order to achieve the national security objectives that we've set. We've got to have a civilian national security force that's just as powerful, just as strong, just as well-funded.
Go ahead, Chris.
So I guess now we're just going to be doing each other's laundry and putting each other in jail, but not always in that order.
Well, here's an example. I've given a lot of money to Meals on Wheels. And then I heard that some of these groups bringing food to old folks, quote, we're trying to push psychological evaluations and Prozac and things on them. And then I saw News 8 Austin Friday morning. Sure enough, and then the next newscast was teaching kids about global warming and global taxes, and the next piece after that was another propaganda piece. I mean, we're just marinated in propaganda. And they take every good thing we do and turn it into some government spy thing.
About 20% of the people, about 17 to 20% are considered somnambulists who are very easily suggestible. And there is also a recent study that when the brain has increased amounts of oxytocin released, for whatever reason they're made glad or happy, they can be cheated over and over again by the same person. And
no, that's it. You ought to write a story and put it on the prisonplanet.com forum. Absolutely, folks. It's all hypnosis. It's all tricks. It's all scams. If you're aware of it, you might have a chance to beat it. But if you deny it exists, it's over. We'll be right back with the final segment. Stay with us.